Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I thought I'd show you a clip from China today. Why? Because it's very interesting indeed. You don't hear much from China, do you? And that's because it's a communist regime. They've got everyone in lockdown, both psychologically and physiologically. So here's the clip.
Face recognition payment in China. This is something that will scare a lot of Westerners, but this is a norm in China now. You don't need your card, you don't need to bring your phone, you just need to scan the item you want to buy and the machine will scan your face. Then the money is deducted from your Alipay or WeChat Pay. That is so convenient.
Now that's interesting, isn't it? So you don't need your card, you don't need your wallet. It's so bloody convenient, isn't it? It's so amazing. I've just been looking forward to this day for such a long time. Unfortunately though, the downside of that is that they can debank you at any given moment, right? They're going to debank you, deplatform you. Censorship is the hallmark of fascism, right? Tyranny is the deliberate removal of nuance. They want to remove any opposition from the state, and they can do that. Mostly that what we've been seeing happening for the last 2-3 years is not debanking, but deplatforming, right? And censorship and all the sort of shadow banning that we're experiencing. But the next thing that's already happening in many countries, communist Canada, for example, and also in the UK, that people are getting debanked. So how can they do that, right? If we had an actual physical currency, it would be impossible, right? You'd be able to just go up to the ATM, put your card in and get the cash out. And that cash is not tethered to your behaviour. What they want to do is they want to bring in this social crediting system so that if you actually offer any form of dissent whatsoever, they could just switch you off because you'll just be a barcode. So what they're trying to do is digitalize everything in this sort of fourth industrial revolution, where people like Elon Musk are putting all these satellites up into the sky so that we can have 5G. 5G is very much the fuel, right? This is how the whole prison is going to operate. We've been given, by way of Western education, which is actually Western indoctrination, the intellect to build our own prison, but not the intelligence to see that we're doing it. Because we're so focused on the minutiae of everything. Oh, let's make a smart fridge. Let's make a smart oven. Oh, let's have a smart locking system for the front door. Oh, we can have a smart meter. Oh, it's going to be brilliant. Right? So on the surface of it, it sounds great. They're selling you on the things that just sound convenient. But behind the scenes is this absolutely rampant militant desire to create a prison of sorts, an open air prison, which you cannot see, taste, hear or touch, right? Just like they show you in the Matrix.
You are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
Prison for your mind. That's already what we've been experiencing, but they want to go the extra mile and actually literally make it impossible. Just like they show you in Black Mirror, right? Where that girl, I can't remember the name of the episode, but it was all about social crediting, right? And so at the beginning, she was all happy, she got this apartment, and then she fell out of favour with the community. They started docking her points, and before you know it, she can't afford to do anything. She gets locked out from the system, and she's trying to make her way to this friend's wedding, who had sort of blacklisted her from it. She couldn't even get any petrol into the car because, of course, she's been blacklisted. And so it works with this facial recognition, right? So you just don't need anything. All you need now is your face. Your face is associated with your behaviour, and therefore you're paying for everything by way of this technology, which stops you, it just shuts you out from society. So you hope that you'll find some sort of benevolent friends or family to sort of like, help you through that time. But, that might not happen when they think of you as a sort of like rogue, ostracized maniac who will have been slandered as well. It's like, oh, this guy's been debanked. Do you trust him? No, I trust the government. Like hook, line and sinker, right? Which so many people do. So we're falling into a trap, right? Sponsored by people like Elon Musk, of course. He's just a gopher, like Bill Gates, who's just reclaiming all the farmland, which Mao and Stalin did, right? All this is this climate communism, this communism. I have to censor that out, but you know what I mean? COVID, right? COVID communism. This is what we're dealing with, and that's why I'm going to talk more about it in that sense, like in terms of it being communism and not globalism or this sort of deep state, because a lot of people have a knee-jerk reaction against that. So we need to, what do we need to do? We need to liberate ourselves from this invisible prison that's being created, not for us, but by us. We're the ones funding it. We're the ones who are actually doing it, right? They want us to just never see like what they're actually doing, which they've actually got written down in some of the UK Gov documentation, which have, this whole smart cities, I come from an architectural background. All these people have been fractured. Their minds have been fractured through state school. And so they're focused on just like the little technicalities of things. Like if you're an architect, you'll be focusing on this little building here. And if you're a lighting designer, you focus on, oh, they want to bring out these LED smart lights now. Oh, that's so amazing. And they can't see, they don't have the bigger picture, you see. They don't see the whole. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts, right? We've been divided and fractured through elementary system of Western education, which just basically makes you stay in an embryonic state of consciousness your whole life, right? From cradle to grave, you'll never realize the actual sort of holistic approach that these communists have taken. And it's sort of invisible to us until we awaken to a high level of consciousness. That's what it's all about. That's what this channel is all about. New Earth is the alternative to the New World Order, which they're creating. These open air prisons, right? We don't have to live in these things. If we just come together and empower ourselves, remove our dependence on money for survival, right? As soon as we do that, it's game over for the communists. It's game over for this psychopathic New World agenda. Why? Because shelter, energy, food and water, those things should be basic human rights. We can do that when we come together and start to actually fund the democratic reclamation of our land so that we can build democratic co-housing environments. Shelter, energy, food and water, those things can be provided from the comfort of our own homes, from our doorstep, right, through hydroponics, organic, like it can all be done locally. And no one can control that once we are physiologically free from money for survival. So it doesn't mean that money is, all evil. It's simply a tool, but it's being used as a tool of enslavement. We need to decommodify those, shelter, energy, food and water. Then we can build a more fair, equal and just monetary system that is, functional. But there is absolutely no way, no reason why we should remain the only species on this planet that charge ourselves to exist, right? We have to take a look at nature, right? Think for yourself on a little island, right? And, what are you going to do? Like, we're going to build ourselves some homes. We're going to do that as a community. We're going to do that out of compassion and out of necessity. So that's all we simply need to do. We need to see that we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the people. We are the power of the 99%. As Martin Luther King said, those who love peace must learn to organise themselves as effectively as those who love war. That's absolutely what we need to do. We need to come together and organise ourselves just as much as these psychopathic ruling elite have done. And they've mobilised all the police in order to enforce all this stuff absolutely mindlessly. They are just, they've got shit for brains. They don't know their arse from their elbow. They're just trying to break up and these peaceful protests. And they have absolutely no idea what's going on. Like so many people, unfortunately, because they've fallen into the trap. They're falling into the convenience of having a smart meter. All this smart stuff is not smart, it's stupid. We should call them stupid cities because they're built on slavery. But that slavery has become so normalised and it's invisible that people are more concerned with the idea of having a chip in their hand because it's convenient and they don't have to take their wallet. Oh yeah, I lose my wallet sometimes. Beep, 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 beep. You can have a QR code. We're not going to get into the whole VICCINE stuff and what they've injected people with, the whole hydrogel stuff. We can just say that for a rainy day. But right now, what we need to do is come together, mobilise ourselves, right? Let's start to express our innate compassion and desire for true community, not by way of these technologies. Let's come together face to face. Let's start having these events where we can start to offer an alternative social model to the one that we're being provided and conditioned to believe is somehow going to lead us into this fourth industrial revolution, this golden age. It's not. It's leading us down the garden path. It's leading us into our own prison. We are the ones that need to break free of this and come into the true Kali Yuga, right? Come out of the Kali Yuga and into the Treta Yuga, the Satya Yuga, right? Existence, consciousness, bliss, Satchitananda. All those things can happen when we liberate ourselves from these technologies. It doesn't mean that we have to stop using them exclusively. It just means that we need to understand the agenda behind it and how this technocracy is going to be implanted into society and indeed ourselves by way of Elon Musk, right? They want to put a chip in your head. So, actually it's pretty inconvenient having this phone. Why don't I just have the technology inside me as a sort of screen in front of me that just pops up? They want to get into your brain, they want to get into your body. Let's stop this from happening. All right, newearth.land to learn more about the alternative social model that's going to liberate humanity from compulsory labour for survival. I'll see you in the next video.